ॐ हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः, भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः, स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः, स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः, स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः, स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ सहना भवतु, सहनौ भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यं करवावहै, तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। निधये सर्वविद्यानां विषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ तपोभिः क्षीणपापानां शान्तानां वीतरागिणां मुमुक्षूणामपेक्षोऽयम् आत्मबोधो विधीयते। श्लोक नंबर 38। विविक्तदेश आसीनः, विविक्तदेश आसीनः विरागो विजितेन्द्रियः, विरागो विजितेन्द्रियः भावयेदे भावदे भावे भावयेदेकमात्मानं, भावयेदेकमात्मानं तमनन्तम् अनन्त्यधीः, तमनन्तमनन्यधीः। Adi Shankaracharya has given us the method of contemplation. And finally, he concluded in 37th verse, Evam Nirantar Kruta Brahma Eva Ahamasmi iti Vasana. Vasana means it has to become part and parcel of our day-to-day life. Whether we are seeing, talking, cooking, walking, transacting in this world, our mind is reveling in that nature of the self as Brahman. But to have this kind of the life, constantly having a reveling in the nature of the self, we need particular lifestyle. If you see, the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita talks about this meditation. In that, Bhagavan has given very beautiful the way we live our life. which is conducive for the meditation, for the contemplation. So there are two ways. There are two things are there. One is our external life. Another is our internal personality. Both should be there. Externally, the environment has to be very conducive for meditation. Internally, our personality also should be conducive for the meditation. So here, Shankaracharya gives both. Vivikta desha asinaha. Look at this. Vivikta desha. External, understand. Vivikta desha means minimum, we have around us minimum people. Those who live in the forest, Nadi, Pulina, Giri, Kandarado, Vasinaha, Giri, on the mountain. Pulina means the bank of the river. Giri, Kandara, cave, where minimum people are coming and going. In our life also, we can do that. We don't need to transact in the world until it is necessary. Generally, what happens with us is we purposefully invite people because we don't want to be alone. I already talked to you about that. To be alone and to be lonely. We love to gather people. Here, the person who want to meditate, who want to contemplate, he avoids the transaction in the world. Unnecessary we send message to the people, unnecessary we call people, unnecessary we invite people, understand? Unnecessarily we go to the party, we go to the public place, we go to the museum, and we like to be around the people. And therefore, Shankaracharya said, Vivikta deshe. Minimum people in the life. Asinaha. He sits. Shuchau deshe pratisthapya asanam atmanaha. 6th chapter, understand? But there also what? Sukhamasinaha. Sukham means not happiness. Sukham means comfortable. Whatever posture of sitting is comfortable for you. You can sit in the chair also. You can sit with the folding legs also. You can sit in the Padmasana also. But it has to be comfortable for your legs and for your body, for your back. Samam kaya shirogrivam. Kaya means this body part. Griva means neck. Samam kaya gira. And mastak. All are in the straight line. Samam. Some people have habit, like this sitting. No. Sit straight. It makes you very alert when you sit straight. And comfortably folding your legs. Or sitting in the chair, keeping the legs down. But how it should be? Asina means sitting. Particular portion, where in particular portion you can sit for 45 minutes. Same posture without changing position of hands, legs, head. It is called Siddhasana. Once you sit in that position, that posture, you sit there for 45 minutes, called Siddhasana. You accomplish that posture. Samam kaya shirogrivam dishascha anavalokayan. Though we sit straight, head also is straight, but our eyes keep moving. So Bhagavan says, Dishascha anavalokan, not looking into different directions. This is a position, understand? Then our eyes also should be what? It has to be quiet, not moving. Nasikagram. That doesn't mean that you are looking at the tip of your nose, understand? Means your eyes, your eyeball movement is not there. Simple. Eyeball movement is not there. You close your eyes, but if you are thinking, you are dreaming something, what happens? Eye movement will be there. And therefore, asinaha sukhamasi. In Yoga, Patanjali Yoga Sutra, asanam. What is asanam? Sthiram sukham asanam. Sthiram means steady. Sukham means comfortable. Steady, comfortable sitting posture. That means we have to learn to do this. In one day, we cannot have 45 minutes. Slowly we can do that. First day you sit for 10 minutes, then 20 minutes. Then you practice that. So this is external, understand this. Then there are certain things in our day-to-day life. So Bhagavan is talking here 4 things for our day-to-day life. So first Bhagavan is telling negative. If you want to know the verse number, I can tell you. Sixth chapter, verse number, what I was talking. 6, verse number 11, then 13, then 16th verse. Bhagavan says, Natyasnastu yogoha asti. The person who eats too much, ati ashnata, there is no yoga for him. Nachaikantamanashnataha, not eating at all. For him also yoga, this dhyan yoga is not there. too much eating also is a problem. Not eating also is a problem. So Shankaracharya tells there in Bhashya, when you eat too much, your body has to work more to digest that food. If you don't eat, then you don't get the enough energy to live your life. And therefore, Bhagavan said, this yoga, this dhyana yoga is not possible for the person who eats too much or who doesn't eat at all. Not only that, nachati swapna shilasya jagrato naiva cha Arjuna. Hey Arjun, person who sleeps too much or person doesn't sleep at all. Everybody has a different personality. Vedanta is not for the mass, understand this. It's an individual, it's a one-to-one teaching. Because every individual is a unique person, has a unique personality, unique body, unique mind, understand? Some person can eat 10 idlis a day in one meal. But other person can eat maximum 4. That doesn't mean that fellow is eating more and this fellow is eating less. No. His body needs 10 idlis. Understand this. Everyone has to decide how much you can eat, how much you can drink water. So individually, we have to decide this. Lot of people, they think, oh, in yoga it is said we should have a sleep for 6 hours. No, nowhere it is given. What is too much sleep and what is no sleep also is individual. Once it happens that one person was sleeping 8 hours. Another person was sleeping only 5.5 hours. So the person who was sleeping lesser time was always criticizing the person who was sleeping more time. So one day the person who was sleeping more went to the Guru and said, Guruji, I need this much sleep. But this person is sleeping less and always criticizing, commenting on me. What should I do? So Guruji said very nice. You are here in Gurukulam to study. Look at this. You are in Gurukulam for study. And every day we have certain classes, certain studies are there. Are you fulfilling all these studies or not? Whether it is a class of grammar or class of the Veda Patha or class of Upanishad or Gita. Or cleaning your room, cleaning the clothes, working in the ashram for few hours. This fellow said, yes. Whatever duties are given to me, I'm fulfilling. I'm studying grammar properly. I'm remembering everything. I'm studying Upanishad classes also nicely. Everything I'm doing. Nothing I am missing. Then Guru said, then why are you worrying about your 8 hours sleep? Whatever you have to do in a particular day, if you are doing it, then it's fine. Understand? What we have to do in our daily life, we know. that much if we are fulfilling, and then if we are sleeping more hours, it's fine. Understand? And that's what Bhagavan is telling. The person who sleep too much means what? Because of too much sleep, there is a tamasa, there is inertia in our mind. And if that inertia is there, then we won't be able to study, we won't be able to do japa, we won't be able to perform our daily duties. And if person doesn't sleep, that means doesn't take enough sleep. He will be like a zombie. And therefore, we need to decide individually how much sleep we need, how much food we need. Therefore, now in next verse, Bhagwan is talking positively. This way, negative he is telling. Yuktahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkhaha. Beautiful verse. Yukta. Look at this word Bhagwan is using. He doesn't say how many chapati you are eating, how many idli you are eating, how many dosas you are eating, how many mendu vada you are eating, how many bonda you are. No. Yukta ahar. Yukta means pramanasar. As much your body requires. Yukta ahar. Shankaracharya gives the verse there in Bhashya. How much a person should eat. So one day you eat full up to throat. Understand? That means this much food you can put in your stomach. Next day you decide now. Ardham purayet ashanen. Look at this. Your stomach should be filled with the food half. That's why I tell you, up to throat you see, then you know what is the half for your stomach. Ardham purayat ashanen. Ashanena means bhojanam, food. So half stomach you fill with the food. Chaturtham udakena. Out of that half which is empty, 1/4 you fill with the water. Chaturtham vayu sancharanartham. Vayu sancharan. Samana vayu is there. We already saw. So there should be a churning of the food with the digestive juice. But for the churning, we need a space. If stomach is full, then the churning is not possible. And therefore, the 1/4 of the stomach has to be empty. Now, what is half? Every person, it is different. For somebody, 10 idli is half, understand this. For somebody, 4 idli is half. So we have to decide. Only half stomach has to be filled with the food. If we eat more, then what happens? It takes too much energy from our body. If we don't eat enough food, then our body doesn't get the enough energy to live. And therefore, yukta ahara, vihara. Vihara means moving around. It has to be according to your capacity of the body. Yukta chestasya karmasu. How much actions you can perform? Some people are so fast in working. I've seen the people. In 1 hour, they will prepare 5 dishes. So fast they are. That's their capacity. That doesn't mean everybody has to do that. Understand? So whatever actions you can do, whatever movements you can do, you have to decide yourself. It's individual. There is no standard. Yuktahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapnavabodhasya. Sleeping and waking also should be what? According to the requirements of the body, requirements of the mind. Yogo bhavati dukkha. This dhyan yoga becomes the one who destroys the dukkha, unhappiness, the uncomfort. Whatever there is unhappiness, uncomfort, unease is there in our life, it destroys. So this is external, understand. As I said, these are the external qualities of the person who wants to meditate. His food, his moving around, his actions, his sleeping, his waking, everything according to his own upadhi, his own body. His body, mind, sense complex decides that. So this is external, understand. So once we develop this external, vivikta desha, minimum transactions in the world. Then asina, sukhamasina, we solve it. All this food and everything. This is external lifestyle of meditator. Now we have to see the internal lifestyle. Inner qualities of the meditator. So next 2 words are giving us this. Viragaha, vijitendriyaha. What is the vairagya? Iha amutra phalabhoga viragaha. All Tattva Buddha is giving the definition of every word which we should memorize. What is Vairagya? Iha amutra phalabhoga virag. Iha in this world and amutram in the world above, we don't have a desire or some kind of the attraction to enjoy the objects. Viragaha. Vigataha ragaha yasmatiti viragaha. The person from whom this raga dveshas are not ruling his life. In 5th chapter, Bhagavan gives this definition. Gneyattu nitya sannyasi yo na dveshti na kanksh. The person who doesn't have any kind of the hatred towards anything, not likes for anything. That means what? Raga dveshas are not ruling your life. What is to be done, you do. Important is what is to be done. There is a Another text by Shankaracharya called Sadhana Panchakam. 5 verses are there, therefore it's called Panchakam. And it is Sadhana Panchakam. In these 5 verses, Shankaracharya has given certain sadhanas, instructions for the seeker. There he gives very beautiful. For food, look at this. With reference to the food, what is our attitude? Swadu annam natu yachyatam. Never beg for the pleasant food. Swadu annam, tasty. Vidivasat praptam santushya. Whatever comes in the plate, be happy, be satisfied with that. Sometimes we feel like eating something, you eat, now no problem, understand. But every day, I need this kind of the food. That creates problem for you also and others also. Then Shankaracharya says very nicely that what is this hunger? He gives Shuddhyadi Vichikitsyam. Vichikitsyam. May you treat the disease of hunger. This hunger is a disease. Shuddhyadi. Vyadhi means disease. Shuddh means hunger. Vichikitsyam. May you treat the disease called hunger. But if it is a disease, then what we need? Bhiksha aushadham sevyatam. May you treat your disease of hunger with the aushadhi, medicine of bhiksha. That means what? The food is a medicine. Why medicine? We already saw in the last one. Rogani varasayanam. There we saw. Anything which is a medicine, that means what? How much we have to take, how many times a day, dose is there, frequency is there. Suppose somebody has a malaria, then particular dose is given by the doctor. And how many times a day he has to take? And how many days he has to take? Similarly, we have to decide how much we have to eat and how many times a day we have to eat. All our life, most of the time we are busy with this cooking and eating only. Therefore, Shankaracharya says, if you want to free your mind from all this, this is the best way to. Same way, activities, meeting with the people. There is a kind of a vairagya. Viraga, understand? We restrain ourselves from going to the people, to the party, to marriage. We have to restrain ourselves. We have to restrain ourselves from the enjoyments. Because it keeps our mind busy. See, all these properties are freeing our mind, understand? Our mind is free. Too much indulgence, our mind is always busy with that. Therefore, if our mind is free from all these things, vairagya, then it's available for meditation. Make your mind available for the meditation. Sit in particular posture. I already told you. Same time, same place is important. Vijitendriya. Have a say over all your senses. Two types of senses we have. Indriyas. Gnanendriya, Karmendriya. So for all these 10 indriyas, we have say over always say. Are you seeing what your eyes are showing you? Or you see what you want to see? Are you hearing whatever falls in your ears? Or you listen to what you want? Understand? Suppose you are in the public place or some function or in the train. Lot of people are talking so many things. Lot of things are going around us. Now you decide what you want to see. You decide what you want to hear. Though next seat, 2-3 people are talking something, you decide whether you want to involve in this or not. You don't want to listen to it, don't listen to it. You can do that. You don't want to see, you don't see it. But we want to do that. Understand? That's why this vairagya is required. Dispassion is required. We want to see everything. We want to hear everything, what others are telling. Swamiji used to make a joke about that, you know. Suppose the 2-3 people are talking, sitting next to you. Whole of your personality will be in that ear, and that's why you bang. Why? Hearing what they are talking. Your whole personality is in the ear. You don't need to. Vichitendriya. Eyes, ear, tongue. Out of these 10 senses, 3 are on your tongue. Speaking also here. Vacha. Taste also is here and touch also is here. If you can develop the say over your tongue, how much you talk, how much you don't talk, how much you eat, how much you don't eat, how much you touch. Sadhak should live the life of minimum touch of other people, other things. Asparsha. We have habit. Anybody comes, we hug. Anybody comes, we touch. Don't do that. It affects our personality. Understand this. See, that is what happened in Ramayana. When King Dashrath announced that I am going to coronate this Rama, Kaikai was very happy. Understand this. She was very happy. She loved Rama. But this mantra was jealous. She couldn't stand the celebration going on in Ayodhya. Because of selfish thinking. No, Bharat is Kaikai son, the Bharat should become the king. So she was trying to convince Kaikeyi, this is wrong. Rama should not be your son. You are the beloved wife of Dashratha, and therefore your son should become the king. And Kaikeyi argued with Manthara. No, Lord Rama only will become the king. He is my favorite. He is most beloved to me. Understand this? But Manthara touched Kaikeyi. By touch, whole thinking of Kaikeyi changed. Understand? Until she touched, Kaikeyi was okay. Similarly, we have to see Vijayatad, every indriya, every senses, what we touch, what we don't touch. Doesn't mean that we are belittling somebody. Understand this properly. We are not belittling somebody or something. We are protecting ourselves. Swamiji used to tell this. When Swamiji was a young boy, Swamiji was only 7, 8 when Swamiji's father passed away. And the youngest brother was still in tummy. His mother was pregnant when father died. And there was a widow sister of father also was there. So Swamiji used to tell, mother was very strict about all these things. Madi, what you call in Tamil, Maryada in Hindi become. So his mother used to take the clothes directly from the lines and wear that one. And she was washing her own clothes and putting them on the line. And nobody can touch that clothes. If Swamiji touches that clothes, she won't wear that one. She wash it again and then dry it. Then morning, sometime when she is ready, has taken bath, and she's cooking or she's doing some work. Then Swamiji said, I used to do like that to my mother. Why? Because if my clothes touch her body, she has to take bath. She has to change the clothes. The Swami says, sometimes I feel like I want to have a coffee, then I will tell, give me coffee, give me coffee. Look at this. We are not belittling somebody. It's a protection of the self, Vijitendriya. To what you touch, what you see, what you hear, what you eat, what you talk, what you think. Everything matters when you want to meditate. Otherwise, life is fine. You go wherever you want to go, you talk whatever you want to talk. That's a normal life. But if you want to meditate, all this matters. Understand? Vijitendriya विजितानि विशेषेण विषये एवं मुख्यं प्राप्तितानि. Certain amounts of the objects only you are perceiving. Vijitendriya. This is our inner personality. We live the life of minimum enjoyments. Simple way is what? Minimum enjoyments. Why? This is the fact of our life. Understand that in any enjoyments, there is a violence. There is no enjoyment without violence. Understand this. More enjoyments means more violence will be there. Hinsa. And if violence is there, we incur papa. And therefore, live the life. Viragaha vijitendriyaha means live the life of minimum enjoyments in the life. Whatever is necessary, you do. Whatever is, how much is necessary to talk, you talk. How much you want to see, you see. How much you want, how much it is required to eat, you eat. We need to develop. Prashantatma vigatavihi brahmachari vratesthitah. Whole verses are there. Prashanta. Whole your personality is very quiet personality. Brahmachari vratesthita means minimum enjoyment of the life. Vigatabhihi. There is no insecurity in the life. Bhaya, fear means there is no insecurity. We have so many types of the insecurity in the life. With reference to money, with reference to house, with reference to enjoyments, with reference to body, so much insecurity we are feeling. Vigatabhihi. There is no fear, fearlessness. So, this is the lifestyle we have to develop, externally, internally. 2 words for external lifestyle, 2 words for internal lifestyle. Then what happens? Your mind is available for meditation. Your mind is enough sattvic to meditate. And therefore, Shankaracharya says, Vivikta deshe asinaha viragaha vijitendriyaha bhavayed ekamatmanam. May you dwell upon the self. Ekamatmanam, oneself. We already said. There are no many Atmas. It's a one non-dual consciousness which is Brahman, which is you. Bhavaya. May you dwell upon that. May you ponder on that oneself. Tatraikagram mane kritva na kinchit api chintayet. May you have the capacity to think on the self. Tatra kagram mane kritva. Nakinchit api cha. No other object of thought is there. But how to do that? Shanaihi, shanaihi, slowly. You cannot sit in one day for 45 minutes and have a single pointedness on the self. Shanaihi, shanaihi, uparamet. It's exactly like the child. Mind is like a child. You don't pamper too much to the child and don't be too strict with the child. Slowly. Uparamet. May you bring your mind back from all these enjoyments. Atma samstam manakritva nakinchidapi chintai. Once you develop that. Your mind is thinking of the Atma. Atma samstam mana. Man is established into the thinking of the self. Nakinchi the pitch. Don't think of anything else. But that we have to do. When we start doing that, what happens? Our mind runs away. So therefore Shankaracharya says, yataha nischay. For whatever reason, because of what the mind has moved away from the self, tataha niyamya etata. May you bring that mind back. That is meditation, understand. Mind has a tendency to move away, and we develop say over mind, and therefore what we do? We bring the mind back. That is meditation. That's a part of meditation, understand. There is a possibility that mind can move away from the self, and then you bring it back. Understand? Because there are so many things are there externally. So many things are there under our mind. So many sanskaras are there. So many impressions are there. So though that external disturbance is not there, but internally so many things are there sitting in our mind. Then suddenly all this comes up when you are available. Something of the childhood you will remember. Something of your young age you will remember. Then you push them off and come back to the self. And therefore, bhavayet ekam atmanam. And what is that atma? Tam anantam ananyadhihi. Anant, this self is what? Limitless self. You dwell upon this limitless self with what? Ananyadhihi. Being the one who is not thinking of anything else. Anya means other. Ananya means not other than the self. Dihi means buddhi, intellect, thinking. So you become this Ananya Dihi, being the person whose mind is not dwelling on anything else than the self. Being this, you ponder upon, you meditate, you contemplate upon the self, which is limitless self. So now Shankaracharya gives different examples in different way of dwelling upon the self. Havayad ekam atmanam anantam, he said. But how to dwell upon the self, how to think about the self, how to meditate upon the self, he's telling, we'll see tomorrow. Om asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrutyorma amrutangamaya. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari.
Hari Om, Mama.
Hari Om Swami.
Hari Om.
Hari Om Swami.
Hari Om Swami. Hari Om Mataji.
Mataji.